Before you watch the video, we kindly ask that you hit the like button. It costs you nothing, helps us a lot. On to the show. Quick announcement. We have officially launched the Super Duty Tough Work website, and we would like to officially invite you as a listener of the show to go check it out. The website is superdutytoughwork.net. Again, that's superdutytoughwork.net. Go there and check out the site. You can do 4 things on there right now. The first thing you can do is listen to the podcast. Second thing you can do is purchase books. The third thing you can do is book coaching calls. And the fourth thing you can do on the website is purchase ads for your business on the show. So this is the first time you have been able to do that all in one place. So please take a second, go over to superdutytoughwork.net, sign up for our email newsletter over there, and support the movement. Back to the show. Super Duty Tough Work. What more can I say? That's what we get. Got it good. Since you understood, would you stop scheming and acting hard? I've got a great big bodyguard. So step up if you want to get hurt. We're here again, folks. You know, the return of the most dangerous, infamous, swashbuckling, spine tingling podcast on the planet. Super Duty Tough Work, the adventures of Blueprint and Illogic. As we jump off of giant buildings and fly through the air and solve life's artistic problems 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
We thank you for joining us on this journey. And we want to thank you all for tuning in. It's been a good year so far. The year is young.
Mm-hmm.
Some housekeeping real quick. First of all, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to last week's episode with the bro Southside Frank. Lots of good feedback on that. Lots of new listeners who are tuning in what Frank does in the artistic space. Checked out the episode. We appreciate y'all. We are trying to get back into interviews, as you can see. It just takes some coordination. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But I've got a list of names I'm trying to work my way down. Some of you know who you are. I've talked to you already. I just got to get it on the schedule. The new Super Duty Tough Work website. It's out there.
Poppin'.
Yes, it's doing its thing. It's looking marvelous. It's dripping like marble cake. You know what I'm saying? In the words of Ghostface, it's dripping like marble cake out there. Joints is blue and cream, But yeah, it's looking good. A lot of good feedback. I want to shout out everybody who's booked coaching calls so far. The process is seamless. It's working. I appreciate y'all. We got, for those who haven't been there, go to superdutytoughwork.net. You can book coaching there. You can pick up the books there. You can purchase ad space on this particular podcast. You know what I'm saying? All types of things. And you can listen to episodes there. So we're going to start putting all the new episodes up there. So you won't even have to think about where to get it. You just go straight there, superdutytoughwork.net, and listen to the show. Let me think. Illogic, you got any announcements?
Nah, nothing going on really. Oh yeah, I do actually. Friday.
Okay. Now this might come out till.
Oh, this is gonna be. Never mind. Well,
we speaking for the future.
Yeah, like when this happens, I would have been have Vibe Society. But no, I don't have.
I don't have
any announcements at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, man.
I'm
doing good.
Nice. Oh yeah, I forgot announcement. Friday, April 4th in Columbus.
Yeah. Something's happening.
Yeah, your boy Blueprint is having a 20-year anniversary show for my 1988 album. And I don't think we spoke about it on here yet. If we did, I forgot. But yeah, that's going down Friday, April 4th in Columbus, Ohio at Natalie's in Grandview. And it will be me joined by, Illogic will be hosting the event. DJ Detox will be on the turntables. DJ Rare Groove will be on the turntables. It's going to be a dope night of classic hip hop, and we need you on the attendance. It's like 7:30 doors. The show starts at 8:30 sharp. We're gonna be done by 10. I don't want y'all to be getting it fucked up, showing up at like 9:30.
You gonna miss half the record.
You gonna miss the show. It's gonna be over. By then, the record gonna be done. I'll be laying some other shit. But I'm gonna need y'all to show up on time. And I want to thank everybody who's already bought tickets, because tickets are selling. So, that's good to know. We still got like 2 months to promote it, but mark your calendars. And if you're thinking about coming in from out of town, get your tickets right now. Get your tickets right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but the pace of these things, it's moving steadily. And I want to see all of y'all in attendance. I don't hear no complaints about, I waited to the last minute, man, and I couldn't get in. And nah, get them now. And I think that's probably the main thing. We got that. The 20-year anniversary version of the vinyl is coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming. That's exciting. This is exciting times. We getting back to put music out, bruh.
Yeah, man. Let's times. Go. Good times.
Everybody listening.
Happening.
It's fucking beautiful, right?
Yeah, man. It's a great time.
Yeah, this whole year is about to be fucking. It's gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna go really fast. I already know, because just the shit that's being planned out right now and that we're working on. And then, the last thing we want to talk about that we may have let out of the bag on this podcast, which leads to the topic of this week's discussion, is the fact that Illogic and I are working on a new record.
And it is coming together.
Yes. It has got some special joints on it.
Yeah, some special joints. Special joints.
And for those, just to clarify, it's me producing, him rhyming. How we used to do back in the day.
Back in the day.
Like the best joints, the 3-album run we had, we getting back to that. And where Print is on the beats and Illogic is on the rhymes. And it's crazy because, it's like 20 years since we worked together.
Yeah.
Even though we've been doing this podcast for like 6-7 years, it's like we hadn't done that kind of project since then. And so, it's an interesting dynamic, working with artists as a producer. And when you are the artist and you're working with a producer, the main ingredient that I believe leads to a fruitful collaboration is trust.
Yeah.
Trust. And, Illogic and I have conversations about trust and off the line quite a bit. And in this episode, I kind of want to have a conversation, he and I, about like the importance of trusting your producer. And no matter what field you are in, you're going to have these dynamics at play where you're working with someone together to create something great. And I hope that this discussion kind of inspires you to kind of work on that relationship and work on your level of trust, and then do things that allow people to trust you, And so that's what this episode is about. It's about trusting your producer. And we're going to have a conversation, and then we're going to get to some bullet points, and we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Word.
We got you stuck off the realness, the most infamous, you heard of us. Official podcast murderers, the show comes equipped with viewpoints to share. Grown man ideas for all those who care and want to grow, so go ahead and download. Every single week with a brand new episode. You're not alone in this world, cousin, so we share information and honest discussion and keep repping the culture like we supposed to. They spread gossip, but they never come close to. I can hear it inside their tone. They talk about the industry but never left their home. You get laced up with bullet points and such, plus empowering topics that they never would touch. You can put your whole network against the team, but Super Duty Tough Work's the MVP. Most valuable podcast on MP3. Priceless info, but all of it's free. So take these words home and think them through. Super Duty Tough Work is coming at you. You are now listening to Super Duty Tough Work with your host, Blueprint. Raw and uncut. Adult conversations. No shucking, no jiving, and no bullshit.
All right, folks, we are back. Super Duty Tough Work. This week we're talking about trusting your producer. And so this is a dynamic that Illogic and I talk about off cam a lot and via text, and he alluded to it on the last podcast that we were on. And he has mentioned something about like, if you say I need a second verse, I'll write a second verse.
Right. Yeah.
you know, and I wanted to talk about that because it's like a lot of people probably sounds weird to people. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't understand like the history, or they may not understand like how the true collaborative nature of our dynamic and those dynamics when they work. And I want to just give everybody some history for those who are new to the Blueprint and Illogic, program. Like I've been doing music with this man since 98, yeah, about 98,
97, 98,
97, 98 or some shit like that. So like I met him and he was like 16, and then I was in college and I was about to get out of college, and I remember booking him in his group at a show I threw in college. I had like this show I would throw, this hip hop show I throw at the end of every year. That was like my first time throwing shows, which was crazy to think about it. And I brung him and his group down. They were called Unconquered Dimensions, you know. And he and I kept in touch because I ended up moving to Cincinnati to work. He ended up moving to Cincinnati to go to school. And so we kind of started getting together then. Hey, I got beats. We started working together. And our relationship is obviously like one part of it. We have a friendship. And so a lot of our dynamic stems from them, but we went on from that point to where, we formed a waitlist thing, which was, we already had Greenhouse, and then Logic was, hey, we'll just be waitlist together. Boom. And then kind of had the crew right there. I would produce Illogic's albums and I would produce the Greenhouse stuff. And so Illogic was basically there for everybody's shit. He was on the first Greenhouse record and all of that shit. So we've been doing this for a long time. That record came out in 1999, then we released it in 2000 on CD. And we went on to do 3 albums together. Unforeseen Shadows, Got Lyrics, which was 2002, I think, or 2001.
Yep.
And then after that, we did Celestial Clockwork, 2004. And so at that time, it was like we were just dropping joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were in a zone. It was just like he would come through. We would just boop, 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 boop. I mean, shit. One of them records we did in like a week. Like we did got lyrics in like a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like when he and I worked together, it's very natural. But it still have been like 20 years since we released a record in this dynamic. We've done Greenhouse records together since then, but we haven't done a record that I produced for him like we're doing now since Celestial Clockwork. And those who are Illogic fans know that Celestial Clockwork is like, you know what I mean?
The joint.
That's that John. It's that John.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I think we peaked at our like effectiveness. And but I want to ask a lot. So when you say like if you say it need a second verse, I'm gonna do a second verse. Explain to the people like what makes you feel like that's it's not a problem to say that, because some people think that the rapper drives everything and they decide and the producer's just kind of in the backseat. What do you think about that?
Well, because you are a true producer and not just a beat maker, for one.
Yeah.
Then I know that because it's not just going to be my vision. Like us doing a record together, especially if you're concentrating on just the beats, I'm concentrating on just the rhymes. It's our vision.
Yeah.
So if there's, like just like one of the beats that you sent me, I kind of resequenced it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it worked for what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
So as long as we have that, because we trust each other.
Yes.
And we know what each other is capable of. If you tell me something needs something else, even if I don't feel it in the moment, then I'm like, okay, he hears something that I don't hear. So I'm going to go ahead and, go with it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We can always erase the second verse if the shit don't sound good.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, just with what you started out with, just the fact that since we have the history and we worked together in this capacity for so long, I trust, what you say, and I trust your opinions. I trust your suggestions, and, I'm gonna try anything. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, oh, try this, do this, even in the process of us recording, if, oh, you need to do it this way, do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's what a producer is supposed to do. In reality, if you really look at the history of hip hop and the history of a lot of fucking music, the producer is the person that drives everything anyway.
Yeah.
They're the ones that craft the sound. They're the ones that kind of push the direction of the records. They're the one, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So that's usually how the shit has worked in the past anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a surprise. You know what I'm saying, to people.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, like, it extends into like all areas of it, right? Because like that one example you mentioned was, he sent me a verse over a beat, and I listened to it like 5-10 times. I'm just like, I feel like there's more to say, you know? And I hit him. He was like, as soon as I sent him the text, he was like, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I was already 4 bars in to the second verse anyway. I was like, Pringle tell me to write a second verse. Let me go ahead and start it just in case he does.
Yeah. Because it was like, I just kept listening. I was like, nah, this needs another one. And it's a thing too, because like he trusts me as a producer. But the thing that I look at it too is like, it's not like I have to trust that I know him as a rapper so much that I'm not asking nothing of him that's not already inside of him.
Right.
If that makes sense. So like, it's not just me knowing music or having an agenda to do, okay, we're going to do this type. No, a lot of times I'm more like, where does he need to go? When does he sound his best? Right. There's been times when like, you sent a verse and I was like, I think you can do better than that. Yeah. And then you was like, you're right. Let me try it again. And then you came back and my only response was just in all caps. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's fucking go. Like when he does something that's really crazy to me, that's literally all I do. I don't talk about it a lot. I send him all caps with a mad exclamation points. And it just says,
I have a few texts of that. Yes.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Or like, that's what the fuck I'm looking for right there.
Yep.
Hell yeah. That's it. And then he knows. But so let's talk about like a lot, because we both collaborated with a lot of people. And what do you think is stopping a lot of newer artists from trusting the producers that they have to do what we are doing?
I think it's a lot of ego. I think also relationships aren't built like ours has been built anymore, because a lot more stuff is done over internet, through meeting people's social media, you in fucking France and I'm in Texas, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of situation. So, we had the time to actually be in the studio together. We had the time to actually sit down. I got to sit down and watch you make beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we've had that time together and actually, had the time to build a friendship. I think now a lot of people just hit each other up and like, yo, send me a beat, or, they just buy beats from cats here and there and, just, write songs. And there's not as many albums these days that just have one producer. Yeah. So us working together and you doing a complete record for me, then it's a succinct vision that happens in there. And it allows for a lot more collaboration throughout the entire project as opposed to just 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said there. I'm going to add on to that another thing. I think that stops it on the production side is what I will label placement mentality. Right? So many producers now want to get placements on an artist's records. For those who don't know at home, a placement is basically you send some artists who you don't necessarily have a working relationship with a bunch of beats. They're working on a project. They're getting beats from all over the place. And they just pick the best beat from your joint and do a record with whatever, 15 songs, 15 different producers. Put it out, right? That's called a placement. You got your beat placed on their record, right? And you get props, money, whatever comes along with that. I don't think that was really a thing when we started doing music.
No, it was not. If it was, it wasn't nearly as easily done. You had to fucking send a CD through the mail or a tape through the mail, and not know if you're going, it even reached the person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a whole different thing with the internet now.
Yeah. And like you would, as far as I remember back in the days, if you go back 15, 20 years, producers wanted to produce whole projects then. Yep. Everyone was still recording in the studio together then. It wasn't this, I got a beat CD from some dope guy and he's dope, so let me just pick the one from him and one from here, and then we'll try to assemble it into this cohesive thing at the end. There were exceptions, like you had like Illmatic that came together, but that was like 4 producers who all knew each other, all kind of were in the studio together with Nas. It wasn't, oh, I got a beat from some dude from Texas. No, it was everybody from New York who was those dudes. He got all of them in there, Pete and Preem, and you know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. So I think now though, there's a heavy emphasis on just getting one beat to someone.
Yeah.
And what I think it does is it pushes producers away from developing your own talent and your own relationships with up and coming artists. Like Illogic was Illogic in Columbus when I met him. You know what I mean? He was buzzing. He had like the crew was dope. Him and the third was dope, and he had won the battle. But outside of Columbus, he wasn't known then. No, I was only known in Springfield, you know, for DJing and with Greenhouse at college. So neither of us had a name. So there wasn't this placement mentality. I'm just gonna get one beat, get one. It was let's do music together.
Yeah. Let's
make dope songs. And I think that adds to it, man. I think a lot of producers are, and you touched on it earlier, they're beat makers.
Yeah.
And a reason that they're beat makers is because they never have an artist that trusts them enough to allow them to produce.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of sucks, but that's one thing I would say. And so like you as you MC and you make beats now too, which is, you know, a lot, honestly, I think that's one of the things that I held off on trying to do a record with you for a while. I felt like you needed to go through that progression.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then it would make how we work different and hopefully better. You know what I mean? Because now you understand the whole thing, and like I send you shit now, you might be able to hear it differently or hear things than you could just as a vocalist. How has being a producer impacted how you work with someone like me on production?
Well, I think I understand the beat a little more. I find different pockets now. I hear things differently because I'm starting to understand. I understand how things are constructed a little more.
Yeah.
And it allows me to, like I said, find different pockets, ride beats differently. I think, you know, some of the beats on the new project that we're working on, if you would have sent me those, you know, 5-10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have written to them how I'm writing to them now, because I wouldn't have that 10 years of production under my belt. Yeah. So I wouldn't be able to hear them the way that I'm hearing them. So I think it's definitely, you know, made me a better writer. Because for a long time, since I really started making beats, I haven't really been doing records like that. You know what I'm saying? I did Autopilot and I did the Transition. But outside of those, I haven't really been doing a lot of, you know, writing except for features here and there and stuff like that. So I've been concentrating more on the production side of things. And so my ear is completely different, listening to records and understanding where certain samples come from, finding, you know, samples of songs that I used to bump when I was in high school. And now it's, oh, that's how they hooked that up. You know, understanding those kind of things definitely has given me a different ear and, you know, given me a lot more room to play with beats and play with rhythm because I understand it a little better.
Yeah, that's dope. Very well said. Yeah, I feel the same way like when I would do the records with RJ, the Soul Position records. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like a lot of people were like, where the fuck did Blueprint come from as a solo artist? Because he just came out of nowhere and the Soul Position is dope. But they didn't know I was learning from doing records with you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I learned how to make albums with you in Greenhouse.
Yeah.
And then when Soul Position came along, it was like, oh no, I make beats. I already know kind of how this goes. And then I don't gotta produce. I can just rap. Oh shit. I'm about to have some fun. Yeah. You know, like once you start producing, man, you be loving just rapping over a beat and nothing else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. When you said it, when you hit me up like, yo, I'm about to start sending you some beats. Let's work on something. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, it's time. It's time. Because it had been a while since all I had to worry about was writing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been pulling double duty. You know what I mean? For my last couple records. So, you know, it's very different in that sense. And, you know, it's a little more stressful, but it's a lot more involved because I'm in control of everything. I mean, art direction, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like doing all of that, shooting my own videos and, you know, all of that stuff. So I've been doing a lot, and to be able to just concentrate on fucking writing, it's a dream. It's a dream right now.
That's dope. Hell yeah. So we're going to take a break and then we'll come back and we'll get into some of these bullet points about
Word.
just trusting your producer. And so we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Before we go any further, we want to take a second to tell y'all to check out the brand new project, Portlangeles 2 by Los Angeles MC, Cookbook.
I'm earning funds non-fungible. Tokens that when they took in is non-refundable. I'm in the jungle pulling off in the...
Y'all know the type of hip hop we co-sign on this podcast. We love some boom bap with some real content and dope rhymes. And Portlangeles 2 gives you all of that.
Check me the fuck out. Reading through the media to see what I'm about. Read encyclopedias to keep up with the route of the speech I see throughout. In the seed on behalf of the weak.
Not only is Portlangeles 2 produced by Portland producer Sherbert, it's also got guest features from Blue, Razcast, Theory Has It, Open Mike Eagle, Ilmac, and more.
Portland and LA got so many squatters. They wanna be a part of what started my alma mater. My heart is never farther. No matter where I rest, I'm still a Dodger. LA is killing it. We Rams and Chargers. Must be something in the water. Something about the sons and daughters.
So please take the time to go stream their new album on all streaming platforms or go purchase it at cookbook.bandcamp.com right now and show these brothers some support. All right, back to the show. Quick announcement. Over the years, we've frequently been asked by the listeners of our show if we would ever open up our platform to the public for advertising. We've always been interested in doing it, but in the past, we never had the systems in place to make it work properly. I'm proud to announce that we are now officially accepting advertising from the public on Super Duty Tough Work, meaning if you are a business owner or an artist and would like to create more awareness about your product, service, or release on our platform, we're now in a position to be able to do that. For more information, email us at superdutytoughwork@weightless.net. That's superdutytoughwork@weightless.net. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you would like to promote, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible about whether it's a good fit and go from there. Thanks for your time. Back to the show. All right, folks, we back. Super Duty Tough Work. We're talking about trusting your producer, why you must trust them, and the benefits of doing it. And I got some bullet points for y'all. You know how we do. We ain't gonna get y'all out of here without no
Popping off, you know what I mean?
Hit them with the West Side Gun. You know, we got the bullet points about to hit y'all. And so the number one reason why you should trust your producer is that they know your history and your catalog. See, the thing about Illogic and I versus me working with another artist or an artist who doesn't know me or vice versa is that I know his whole catalog front and back. And more importantly, I know where he's been. And because I know where he's been, I know where he hasn't been. And so my job as a producer, I look at it like my job is to understand where you've been and make sure we include the sensibilities that your fans already dig, but that we take it somewhere where you have not been while not alienating the people who already love you.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the job. But you can't do that if you don't really fuck with that artist.
Right.
You know, like that's a big thing. Like you have to trust that that person knows. Cause like I get people sending me random beats and stuff all the time. And I'm like, you don't know nothing about me.
Right. You have no idea what kind of rapper I am.
Cause why would you send me this beat?
Right. Or you heard one song or one fucking, one record out of my whole collection and you think you know me as an artist. You don't.
No, but it's you have to know the history of that person. And sometimes we get lazy in this little, just instant success thing we got going on. Sometimes we don't want to do the history on the artist. The artist don't want to research the producer. And you end up with these odd matchups that don't really work.
Yeah.
And I think like knowing someone's history, not just what they've done, but where they need to go, that still makes sense is super important.
Yeah, because I'm actually people know I if you've checked it, I did the Lucid Logic album with my partner Just Joey. He's out in San Diego, and we're doing another record where I'm doing all the production this time. He did the production on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And when I approached him about doing it this way, I was like, look, I have an idea, because most of his catalog, really all of his catalog, is all live instrumentation. Everything that he's done kind of sounds like a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, you've never rhymed over drum breaks and samples.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of shit I'm going to send you. And it's a completely different sound from anything he's ever done, because we've had a relationship for a while. And I've studied his entire catalog, even though I didn't produce any of it. Yeah. But I've studied his catalog because I like him as an artist, and I knew we were working together. And I knew that it was going to come around where I was going to produce something for him, you know, at some point. So I made an effort to go back into his history and study his catalog and listen to his sound and say, there's something missing here that I think you would sound dope over. And, you know, we got a project that we're finishing up, and it's all samples and drum breaks, and you know what I'm saying? And it's some of the raw shit that he's done. It's one of his favorite records in his catalog, according to him. So, you know, it's definitely worth understanding, you know, the artist that you're working with.
Yeah.
Completion.
Yeah. As you were talking about that, what popped into my mind was just like investing into someone.
The time.
Right? Like, yeah. Cause like, it's very transactional when you're just selling someone a beat, or you're just like getting a placement on a record, but you're not in a studio. You're not a part of the writing session. You're not allowed to sequence it, you know. And for many years, I think that if there were ever a question about why I haven't worked with more artists as a producer, despite how dope my records are and Illogic records are, it would be the fact that I was never willing to go through the process of like not being engaged in it right then and there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so to me, I was like, well, if I can't be there and I can't sequence the track around this, and I can't this, and I can't, then I'm not that good at this. You know, this isn't going to come out that well. I don't know the answer. It's like you're expected to have all the answers to the question immediately. And music to me is like this evolving thing. You know, we did Celestial Clockwork. None of the songs ended the way they started.
Right.
They all had their little transformations, and they all had these things that as we figured out, oh, this is a perfect intro for that. Oh, this is a perfect outro for that. Oh, this sequence here works better than that. Oh, this beat sounds better. I was given that opportunity. We were invested in it, but I felt like in the future, when I would have opportunities, I never was given that grace. And I felt I needed it. Now I'm a little bit different, you know, because now I understand the game more is like to fully produce a song before you even send it to a motherfucker now, unless you like I don't do that with you still, but anybody else, I have to legit fully produce it, or I ain't even gonna send it, because fools are just getting so much polished shit, and because you don't get to be in a studio with nobody.
Right. So you have to kind of finished product. You know what I mean? It has to almost be completely done. They just got to drop their verse and that's it. You know, and mix it, and it's over.
Yeah. And you don't even get, you know, like you and I, we would go back and sequence it and do drops, and you don't even get
things around.
You don't get to do that. You don't get to sequence your beat around people's songs anymore. And so that has kind of pushed me away from that side a little bit. But these projects I enjoy because, you know, I'm invested in your success, and I invested in knowing your catalog. And I don't feel like that's the case for a lot of people, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So that's number one. The number two reason you should trust your producers, because they don't have an agenda other than great music.
Yeah. There
are so many producers who pitch every day to artists. Hey, let me get on. You know, emails get filled up with beats and links, and we get spam beats a lot. It's very transactional, and you know that those people's agenda is only to just, they looked at how many followers you had.
Yep.
They looked at that engagement on your Instagram or something, and they thought, yeah, I need to get a beat to him because he would do a great job at promoting it, and I can get some clout off of his name. Or they think I can make some quick money. But they don't think about, like, what the fuck about us? Like, They don't think about the person on the other side of that. Like, you have an agenda, but my agenda is just to do great music and have great relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very hard to get that in this industry if you're not doing projects with people you already know or full-length projects. Everything else, the fear that I see play out, and my concern is plays out every day, is that people are just using you for clout and to launch their career, but they don't really fuck with you.
Yeah. And I mean, and that goes back, I think that goes back into everything being so scattered with social media and online and stuff, because people don't just go to hip hop nights anymore and just hang out and meet people and create relationships and build things together. Yeah. There's everything, like you said, is very transactional these days. You know, it's, I want to buy that beat, or I need to send this beat, and hopefully, like you said, you know, they pick one of my joints and I get on this record, make me a little money or get my name up. Like, it's not like, yo, I want to send him a beat. I want to send him a beat tape because I think we'll make a dope fucking record.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's all I expect from it. And if something else happens, cool. But as long as we make a dope album, that's all that matters in the long run. You know what I'm saying? If the record is dope, then the rest of the stuff will come.
Absolutely. And another thing I look at it too, which is different than the other producers, like I look at it as like my job as your producer is to further and enhance your legacy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if other people look at it like that. They look at it like my job is to use his name to launch my shit. And I'm looking like, if this shit don't serve his legacy, what he's already done, and honor that, it's a failure.
Yeah.
It's a failure. I look at, I have a job to your fans as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, as a producer, there's certain pockets I can show some skills and show some shot, whatever the fuck. But it's like, no, none of that matters if his fans don't like this shit.
Right. Yeah. Like, if they don't like it, then what's the point?
What's the point? We made a different little weird record, but in your catalog, your fans are going to be like, yeah, whatever. Then it's a failure to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a failure to me. It's because it doesn't add on to that thing that you already got. So like, I have to respect that, but I can't respect that if my agenda is to shine.
Mm-hmm.
If my agenda is to use you as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what makes it real tough, you know, for guys to not trust. I think that's what stops a lot of guys from getting placements out here. You don't know that person's intentions. And the higher people go up in this music industry, it's harder and harder to tell who the fuck is who.
Yeah. And I think that's part of why it's not as many records with one producer as you know, the higher you go in this thing. Because, you know, what Common and Pete did is an anomaly these days.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild that the fact that there's a record that got nominated for a Grammy, you know, by the way, with one rapper, one producer, in a world where that shit is not commonplace anymore.
No.
At all.
Yeah, you definitely don't see it at the mainstream level.
Not at all.
Oh,
not at
goodness.
all. I mean, even the biggest cats, like, they might have, you know, half of a record done by somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, you know, they gonna have them, you know, that Dre joint or that, you know, Hit Boy joint or whatever. You know,
it's true. It's true. And you know what, you just hit on something that really, I think, I gotta add on to this, is that one of the reasons that this agenda messes up the music is because all the producers are concerned about is getting a single.
Mm-hmm.
Their main concern is, I want my beat to be the first single or a single. And if it gets, so I'm going to send him shit that sounds like singles.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No album cuts. No album cuts.
I'm not going to send him shit that touches his fans' hearts and souls. I'm going to send him something that gets me shine, is the banger, gets to play on the radio, and is a single.
Yep.
Nothing else. And so you end up with these albums that just sound like disconnected singles.
Yep. They sound like a playlist.
That's it sounds like a playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up, you know? So, but yeah, that's number 2. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Before we go any further, we want to take a second to tell y'all to check out the brand new project, Portlangeles 2 by Los Angeles MC. Cookbook.
I'm earning funds, non-fungible. Tokens that when they took in is non-refundable. I'm in the jungle pulling off in a...
Y'all know the type of hip hop we co-sign on this podcast. We love some boom bap with some real content and dope rhymes. And Portlangeles 2 gives you all of it.
Check me the fuck out. Reading through the media to see what I'm about. Read encyclopedias to keep up with the route of the speech I see throughout. Intercede on behalf of the weak.
Not only is Portlangeles 2 produced by Portland producer Sherbert, it's also got guest features from Blue, Razcast, Theory Has It, Open Mike Eagle, Ilmac, and more.
Portland and LA got so many squatters. They wanna be a part of what started my alma mater. My heart is never farther. No matter where I rest, I'm still a Dodger. LA is killing it. We Rams and Chargers. Must be something in the water. Something about the sons and daughters.
So please take the time to go stream their new album on all streaming platforms or go purchase it at cookbook.bandcamp.com right now and show these brothers some support. All right, back to the show. Are you an artist who has the talent to succeed but has a hard time executing? Do you have the will to win but lack the plan? Are you tired of having great ideas that never come to fruition or starting new projects but never finishing them? If you answered yes to any of these questions, reach out to me at superdutytoughwork@weightless.net to book a one-on-one coaching call. Tell me a little bit about who you are, what you're trying to do, and I'll see if I can be of service to you. Have a great day. All right, folks, we're back. Super Duty Tough Work, Blueprint, Illogic. We are talking about trusting your producer, why it's important. And we're just, giving y'all some info about like our dynamic and dynamics you see out there. And I hope this inspires some of you and hope it helps some of the relationships you have with your producer out there. And so we got 3 bullet points left. And number 3 reason why you should trust your producer is because their ear is different and more objective.
Yeah, this is facts.
You know what I mean? Because like I experience this all the time, and I'm sure you experience it with us working together, where it's like, hey, I don't hear exactly what they hear, but the fact that they hear something and they're sending this to me means that I should listen to it a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So as a writer, when it's like, if RJ sends me something that's different, I'll be like, what the fuck was he thinking with this shit? It's not what I would normally do, but then I start thinking like, what did he fucking hear when he was making this shit? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you can hear it, and sometimes that producer can say things to you. They can take it somewhere with you like, oh, this is what I was thinking, or this is what I heard. And it's something that you never would have thought of, but it'd be the obvious fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like being a producer, it's like I'm disconnected enough to be objective about everything, especially in the early part. Like we're just in like the writing stage. So like I'd get to just send the beat and just kind of fall the fuck back. I ain't worried about arrangements.
Right.
I ain't worried about none of that
we
shit.
the demo phase.
Phase. We just recording. We just getting it down. And so like once we get to like sequencing, arrangements, mixing, that's a whole different thing. But now it's like, yo, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, all right, cool.
Joints.
Yeah, that's it. We just make some shit. And I think the objective ear, especially in this era now, because, we are more connected via social media, but we truly have to be careful about not like falling into what our fans are saying all the time. Because I could post to be on social media and my fans are like, yo, that beat is crazy. But in my heart, if I don't feel like that, there's nothing they can say that's going to make me send it to you. Right. Like I got to know that shit. And so, but it's good to have someone in your corner, especially like a producer, someone who knows you at your best, to give you like an objective view. Like, yes, this rap is dope, but it's not one of your bests. Yeah. And I actually think that you can kill this verse if you just take one more swing at it. You're like, yeah, let me do that. And then you just knock it out the park. And I was like, yeah. I told you.
Yeah, and I think as with me as the writer, it's harder for me to be objective because each verse that's like a child. You know what I mean? It's like having a kid. Yeah. And when you mean it's not dope, but then you listen to it like, okay, like calling my kid ugly or something. You know what I mean?
Right. That kid is good. The other kid is taller. We're gonna put the other kid in basketball. This kid is too short. No disrespect. He's just a good kid.
Yeah.
But he's just a little short for basketball.
Yeah. So like, I think that works much better especially in this phase, because the fact that I'm writing to it, we know I already like the beat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we're not even, dealing with that part of it. So you can be objective about, okay, is this the right thing for this song as, as a fan and as the producer?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is this the right thing? Or, can he go harder? Should there be a second verse? You know what I'm saying? What kind of hook should we do on this? What, those kind of thoughts are needed, because again, as the writer, we just so tied, to the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, because we take our blood and sweat and tears and put it in that pen, you know what I mean? So it is harder for us to be objective, with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good to have, because you can be so like in your space as a writer. I'm very similar. Like sometimes I make stuff and then I have to be objective about my own music. I have to make it, then not listen to it for like 3 to 6 months.
Yep, I'm like that too.
Because when I make it, I'm either like, this is fucking trash or this is incredible. There's nothing in between. It's like I either fucking love the shit out of it or I fucking think it just sucks. And I'm like, damn, why didn't I come harder? But what I realize is some of my best songs have been the songs that I didn't think were dope.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I had to learn that in making my own records, because I can send it to some friends and like, what do you think? What do you think about this? But if I'm not happy with it, and I've created the entire thing, whether you like it or not, don't matter.
Nope.
If I don't like it, it ain't coming out.
That's a fact. It's not going out. Nope.
Yeah, it's not coming out at all. So I do have to, I'll make a song. When I was doing Autopilot, I did this a lot. I'll make a song and I listen to it that night. Like 20 times, of course. Yeah. Do a soft mix and then not listen to it for 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then if I'm itching to listen to it again, then I'm like, okay, maybe I got something. But if I forget about it, then it wasn't that special about this shit.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. But yeah, that's number 3. Number 4 reason that you should trust your producer is that you can get a consistency of sound. Yes. This is one that goes far beyond music production. It goes with pretty much anybody you collaborate with a lot. Whenever you collaborate with someone a lot, whether it's your videographer, whether it's your web designer, whether it's your graphic designer, whether it's your DJ, whatever it is, it's whatever that person does for you, the more you work with them, the more you trust them, the more consistent results you get.
Yes. Yes.
And it's okay to be like, yeah, I like it, but what do you think? I had to kind of teach myself to say that with like videographers and graphic designers I work with, where I'd be like, or just like visual, they'd be like, yo, man, what do you think? I'd be like, yo, it's dope. What do you think? Right. And they'll be like, yo, I like it a lot. I think I can take this thing here and I might do that. What do you think? I'd be like, yeah, that'd be even doper. Because sometimes, sometimes they won't say it if we don't ask them.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to ask. Of course, they were confident enough to let you see it or do it for you. But sometimes like, yo, man, I think this shit is crazy. What do you think? Like, oh, yeah, this is the one, Yeah. But you get a consistency of sound that you cannot get when you are hopping all over the place, working with a million different people. And to me, that is one of the most important aspects of branding. When you look at like, even if you look at like a Kendrick Lamar's videos or certain artists who have these iconic style of videos, they have one video director who kind of gets in a bag and gives that to them. And it becomes very consistent. They become known for it. And then all of a sudden, we just love them for that. Mm-hmm. When you're all over the place and you got 12 producers on everything, you got a different videographer on everything and a different look visually on everything, people don't know who you are. Yeah. And I think that stops you from getting consistent results.
And I think also what consistency, with either, producer, videographer, DJ, like you were saying, you get more comfortable as the artist to where you're not worried about, I hope this is mixed right at the end, or I hope,
Yep.
he don't lose the beat, or, what I'm saying? Shit
Right.
like, crazy shit like that. And, it allows you to relax and just concentrate on what you need to concentrate on. Like a good example is, Chuck being my DJ. Chuck has been my DJ product. It's been my DJ for probably 5 years now, I think, something like that. But it's gotten to the point now where, just like he DJ for the Celestial show, and he was kind of like the conductor, him and the bass player, Levi, were kind of the conductors of the band. But what I basically told him my ideas, and Chuck was like, all right, I'll make it work. And Chuck was kind of like that guy that like, okay, I got all the stems. He made the stems to all of the fucking records so everybody could learn their parts. Like just stuff like, and not even that. I didn't have to ask him to do that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when we do a show, if I fuck up, we've been doing it together long enough to where he can help me look better than I'm actually
than a stranger.
I actually am in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a stranger wouldn't have your back like that.
Yeah, a stranger wouldn't have my back out there. You know what I'm saying? So, it's really good to have that consistency and have that trust in, the person, because it allows you to kind of take your foot off the gas and relax and really get into your own bag and just be who you're going to be, and let, you take care of your job. They're going to take care of theirs.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. Okay, last bullet point of the night. The last bullet point of the night about why you should trust your producer is that you're a priority. This is one that's very important. I don't think people understand what it's like to not be a priority. Like you ever got a beat from somebody and then all of a sudden, like you said, they can't find a beat, or maybe you got a beat from somebody and they done gave it to somebody else. They done double dipped on you and just, or the beat, it's like, or you got a beat, you can't get the stems for it.
Yep.
Or you got the, like these things are common out here. Like people get beats. Happens. Like you can't get anything consistent from a producer because you're not a priority. Like they're not going to sit down and work on a whole project with you. They don't care about mixing it. They don't care about how it's sequenced. They're just going to send you the stems if they got them, let you do what you need to do, and just send them the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
And that works for them because they have a million other people they're working with. But for you as an artist, not being a priority is just not it.
Yeah. And it takes away your drive. It makes you not as excited to do it, especially when you realize that the cats you working with really don't care. They really, it's not about making the good music like we talked about before. You know what I'm saying? They have some other agenda. They don't really care about what you do as long as it sounds okay to them and they get their name on a joint,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's super important, man. So like Illogic and I, we've been working on this record for a little bit, but it's like, he knows as soon as I make some fire, it's going to be in his inbox. It's going
right.
It's coming. This is between joints I might post on my Instagram or joints. Mm-hmm. He know when I'm in the lab cooking up. He knows that if I get something that fits his chamber, it's going to be there. Whoop. Just sent you one. Yep. Whoop. Just sent you 3. Whoop. There's another one. And because he's a priority. You know what I mean? Like everyone can't be a priority, but I try to prioritize the projects that I believe in, that I think I'm the most effective in. And to me, that's the best way to do it. Where cats know, like, nah, anything that come down that's this style is yours. It's not mine. It ain't his. It ain't going to get sold from up or underneath you. It's yours. You can write to it. If you don't like it, I'll take it back, do something else with it, but it's yours. And you don't got to worry about where my priorities lie. You know that I want to see this shit come out as bad as you do.
Right.
And sometimes we can be in these situations with producers who their priority is not us.
Mm-hmm.
We may think, yeah, man, this is a special record. I want to do this whole fucking rollout. I want to do all this shit. And man, all I need from you is X, Y, and Z. And they be like, I can't really. I'm gonna be over
working
here
with 5 other people. Over here, bro.
That sounds good, but I'm gonna be over here. I can't do it. You're not a priority. You're like, just take the wind right out of your sails,
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's it for this week. That's it, man.
That is it.
Let me read these 5 bullet points back about trusting your producer. Reason number 1, you should, is they know your history and your catalog. Reason number 2, they don't have an agenda other than great music. Reason number 3, Their ear is more objective. Reason number 4, the consistency of sound. And reason number 5, you're a priority. Trusting a producer, go out there, find your producer you can trust today. They might be unknown when you meet them, and they might be somebody who will be willing to build with you. So that's it for this week, and we will see y'all next week.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Super Duty Tough Work. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud. Peace.
Shoot, I got styles already that's more complex that nobody know about. I mean, super duty tough work.